1 minute. Oh, actually, we should be starting. We'll just do 1 minute. Yeah. Good morning. I would like to begin today's meeting by acknowledging traditional custodians of the land on which we're gathered and pay my respect to elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to acknowledge any sorry business that might be felt in the community at this time. Welcome to the City Lifestyle Committee meeting of the Wednesday 14th of May. I declare this meeting open at 9:58. I would like to advise attendees in the room that this meeting is being webcast and audio recorded. My name is Councillor Tony Hall. I'm joined by our Director of Community and Lifestyle, Mr. Brad White. We will begin by councillors submitting any leave of absences. I believe Councillor Fraser has submitted a leave of absence. Can I have a mover for that? Councillor Murphy, seconded by Councillor Stemp. Can I see a show of hands in support? That has been carried by everyone in the room. Apologies today. We have Mayor John Raven is an apology, and we have Deputy Mayor Councillor Bannon is an apology today. We'll now confirm the previous committee meeting minutes. There is a motion displayed on the screen to confirm the previous minutes, and that is the minutes of the City Lifestyle Committee meeting held on the Wednesday on the 9th of April to be confirmed. Do I have a move of the motion as displayed on the screen? Councillor Stemp, seconded by Councillor Murphy. Do I have a show of hands from councillors in support? That has been carried by everyone in the room. Declarations of conflicts of interest. I now refer to declarations of conflicts of interest. Do any councillors here today wish to declare a conflict of interest? There being none, I'll now refer to the reports on today's agenda. Our first report is item 6.1, Amendment to Waste Concession Policy. This is a public report. We have Presenting Manager, Community Development Program Leader, Miss Michelle Griffin. I would like to remind councillors that we cannot discuss budget-related questions without moving into confidential first. So if you have a question that you would like to ask Miss Michelle or her team that relates to something that may refer to something in the budget, we would first need to move into confidential. This is a public report, so just be mindful of that first. I will leave it to the Presenting Manager of Community Development Program Leader, Miss Michelle Griffin, to present. Thank you.
Thank you. Through the Chair, today we're here to present the amendments to the waste concession policy. Elise is going to take you through a little bit of detail because there's a fair few changes. So we're just going to highlight the key things that are in the document just so then you can verbally get that from Elise, and then we'll take any questions from you afterwards. So I'll pass to Elise, who's the Community Grants Coordinator.
Thank you. Through the Chair, I'd just like to start by providing an overview of the waste concession policy as it currently stands. So the waste concession policy provides financial relief for eligible charities, community organisations and state schools from waste disposal exemptions. So that's up to $2,000 of free tipping per financial year per organisation. We then also have our waste collection charges for an event. And that's up to $400 towards 240 litre waste and recycling bins for community events per organisation per financial year. So these concessions are a community service obligation, and they are administered by our team and the community grants team within the community development program. We deliver this in liaison with the waste branch. So why do we need to review the policy? Well, the cost of bins has increased. So The current fee, being $10.09 for event bins, only reflects the lift rate and not the costs associated with landfill disposal and state government waste levies. So the current cap for community event bins doesn't meet these recent price increases, resulting in a shortfall of the number of bins that council can provide to events. So with that $400 price cap, the number of bins is going to be reduced from 39 to 11 bins, and then is anticipated that it would decrease in future financial years as well. So we do need to look at increasing the price cap for event bins, and that is why we're here today. However, this did give us the opportunity to review the whole policy and a few other clauses as well. So this policy was presented to the Policy Advisory Group for feedback on the 12th of February 2025. And following this meeting, all councillors were then emailed a copy of the current policy, and the policy would track changes that you see attached to the report today to be able to provide any additional feedback at this time. So an overview of this feedback is presented in attachment 3 to this report, and you'll be able to see which feedback is being integrated or not integrated into the amended policy and why. So I'll just take you through a quick snapshot of the changes that we have made to the policy now. So you will have a copy attached of the policy with track changes to your report, but I'll take the rest of the report as being read. But to give a high-level overview, we have updated our principles to include that we value not just the contribution of our community organisations, but the delivery of events in Logan. We've matched the terminology in the policy to the website. So that's things like the concession for waste disposal charges is widely known as a waste disposal exemption in the Logan community. So we've aligned that. We've also set timeframes for application. So we've made it a must and not a should that applicants need to apply within a certain time frame. And that's to allow adequate processing time between us, waste services, and the contractor service, because there have been some challenges in this space. So our waste team needs to organise event bins through an external contractor who need to make sure they have enough bins available and that they can get them to the event in time with sufficient notice. And so allowing flexibility and for organisations to apply for bins, 2 to 3 days before an event has been putting extra pressure on our contractor service and our waste team as well. So we've also added some additional clauses to align this policy with the same requirements for the waste vouchers policy, which is managed by Michael's team in the waste branch, and that provides waste concessions to residents. So this includes things such as clarifying that you need to present a copy of your letter at the time of disposal, an expiry date on the letter, that dead animals, asbestos, tidus, and hazardous waste are excluded. And we've also encouraged recycling. We've also asked for a bit more information from our applicants, such as the location of the event, expected benefits, expected attendance numbers, and so forth. And yes, we have increased the price cap for event bins now that they have gone up in price. So that cap has been suggested to be raised from $400 to $1,500. So feedback provided at the Policy Advisory Group was to continue to meet the current level of service. So that would be a $1,500 price cap. We are also proposing to allow organisations to apply not just for 240 litre waste and recycling bins, but also 1,100 litre bulk bins, which you can see on the screen there, and also additional emptying services for events. So these are bulk bins that can be wheeled around at events, and they are logistically easier for large events. Some organisations also host multi-day events and they need an additional emptying in between. So we've proposed that organisations can apply for these services within that $1,500 price cap. And then we've just added a few extra clauses that are important, such as the fact that bins are subject to availability by our contractor service. That also means we might have to provide alternate bin sizes if needed. Bins are provided within budgetary constraints, and once the budget's gone, no further applications can be accepted. And we've also clarified that if a community organisation does need more than $1,500 worth of bins, they will need to submit a separate application, and we've provided a link in the policy of where they'd need to go to do that. So there is another council process that our waste team manages where organisations have the ability to apply directly through the waste branch for event bins, but they just need to pay commercial rates, which includes GST. So that is a brief snapshot of the changes made to the policy. Now hand back to the chair and happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Okay, we've actually got a question from Councillor Bradley first.
Thank you, through the chair. So basically, we've gone from 400 to 1,500. Is that correct?
Through the chair, yes, that is correct.
Whoa, that's massive. And just curious, how many events actually go up to that level? Would go up to that level?
I do have this information, through the chair, I do have this information in front of me. So most organisations typically throughout the years do not reach their price cap. So for example, in this financial year, which we're nearly wrapping up, only 8 organisations out of the 36 have applied for their total price cap.
So from our 8, we've got to calculate the difference between the 400 and the 1,500 to work out what impact that has, because we've got a very tight budget coming up. I'm just, yeah.
Through the chair, how it works is that I suppose that we don't ever give them that $1,500. So we just have an allowance that if an organisation, say, had a small event and they had 4 bins, they would, that would cost $50 and that would come off their amount. And then if they had one other event and it was another $50, then it was $100 that they spent. So that's all that comes out of the budget for that year. I suppose we have many events now that are going, say, over 3 days where they require 70 or 80 bins to accommodate for that. And so that amount allows for those larger events that are occurring to have the same amount of bins that has been allowed within that $400 cap.
So if I want to ask a question about how much this costs now and how much it's projected to cost, that it would have to go in confidential, is that correct?
Yeah, through the chair, I suppose we can answer the question about the budget that is current.
Yes.
I don't think it's about the next year's budget that we probably need to be concerned about. The budget that is allocated, it won't change. So I'll probably answer it without answering it too deeply, is that the actual budget amount will not at this stage halter for next financial year. So
what
it will
is the budget amount at the moment?
It's around $20,000.
Okay.
So it's approximately that amount. So that's currently in the budget, and that is not necessarily shifting. Like Elise said, we understand that the price may continue to go up and we may need to do service enhancements in future, but for the next financial year, that will not change even with this $1,500. All it's doing is allowing for, instead of now people only getting these 11 bins, they have the opportunity to be able to still get the 30, 40 bins. Yep.
Okay, Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, through the chair. Thank you for the report, Michelle. This is a vital service that I know a lot of my organisations down in my area use. So they still need to just apply through your community grants side of things?
Through the chair. So I suppose applicants have the opportunity that if they're one of these eligible organisations, they can apply separately for the CSO for event bins specifically, but any other kind of costs related to an event would go through our grants program.
Okay, so I know the Sugarcane Festival that we've just had on the weekend, they apply for multiple bins for that particular event, and the team have always been fantastic. And if we were not to be able to supply as many as possible, we would have a litter problem, which we need to go and clean up later anyway. So sort of a bit of a catch-22 situation. And then those organisations that get the vouchers as well, just a bit of feedback. I know a lot of organisations that are helping with homelessness or stuff like that. They're seeing an increased dumping just at their sites as well. So they will get household goods that are not in orderly condition and they need to go to our waste recycling places more frequently, because people are not necessarily donating good stuff to the community to be used. They're actually dumping their rubbish as well. So we're seeing that a lot as well. So I'm really mindful of this particular report and how it will affect our organisations within our area. So if I have any feedback, I'll please pass it on to the team, and thank you for continuing to supply this. Thank you.
Councillor Lane.
Thanks very much for you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, ladies, for the report this morning. Appreciate it. One of the things that I fed back, I think, during that policy discussion was I thought that the $2,000 a year was too generous. We have some massive groups in my area that can well afford to pay their dumping fees, and there's 135 registered not-for-profits in my division alone. Taking up that sort of funding really puts the burden on the ratepayers. And some of them are funded quite handsomely, others aren't. So I have no problem with the bin changes, but the actual $2,000 per group, I mean, that gives on a medium dump, so that's a ute with a ute or a car with a trailer, that gives them 18 trips a year. And for a large ute and trailer, it gives them 10 trips a year to the dump free. And some of them are funded quite handsomely. Some of them have over 50 employees, and some of them receive state and federal funding for various things and are not short of $1. So as far as the policy goes, I won't be voting for it today simply because I think it doesn't put restraints on the income levels of these community groups and these not-for-profits to restrict those that can afford to pay should be paying. So, yeah.
Councillor Wilcox.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the report. Just to clarify, so we're going from a current fee of $10, but it was only the lift rate, so it wasn't actually full cost recovery under that $10. So going to the 30 or 35, that's full cost recovery. Beautiful. Now, just to confirm, if we're doing an increased price cap to $1,500 per organisation per financial year, is that so that they can have they can access the bins and then for their things, and then they can also access the waste and recycling bins under it? So is that both to come under that price cap?
Through the chair, so the $1,500 price cap is for bins for events only. It can be for multiple events, and then additionally they're also eligible to apply for that $2,000 waste disposal exemption, which is where they can go to the tip.
Okay, beautiful. And if it'd be really good to monitor it for this next year, just to see which organisations are reaching their cap, which ones aren't, you know, because potentially then we could review it in another year, bring down it, you know, and if you've got those minor couple that are exceeding it, then great. I think we should sort of review it again, just so it's not funding sitting off in the ether and never getting used and that sort of thing. So yeah, thanks.
Through the chair, majority of organisations don't use anything close to that amount. We use that cap. I think there was 5 organisations in the last financial year that even went near that $2,000, and Waste give us the advice when it does get close to that. But it's quite rare that they're using it. There's a handful of people that are. So.
Councillor Jackson.
On that $2,000 amount, people apply, groups apply for that. Is the application just criteria based and automated, or there's discretion in it where it could get feedback from councillor? And do they have to apply every year, or once you apply, you continue on until you want to stop?
Through the chair, all eligible organisations that pass eligibility are granted a general waste disposal exemption, and they do need to apply each financial year again. So it only lasts for a period of that financial year that they've applied in. Yeah.
Okay, councillors, with there being no further questions, we have a PowerPoint that we need to table. Can I have a mover? We have Councillor Bradley has moved. I don't think we need a seconder to table. No. Can I see a show of hands in support? That's been carried by everyone in the room. Okay, so there is a motion up on the board. Can I have a mover for that motion? It has been moved by Councillor Murphy. Can I have a seconder? That has been moved by, seconded by Councillor Russell. Can I see a show of hands of councillors in support? That has, okay, we'll just do a round table. Councillor Bradley, how did you vote?
Wish to abstain, thank you.
Okay. Councillor Lane,
Against?
Councillor Russell,
For.
Councillor St Ledger,
For.
Councillor Jackson, Councillor Hirmaya,
For.
Councillor Stamp,
For.
Councillor Wilcox,
For.
Councillor Murphy,
For.
and I'm also for. That has been carried. Okay, does any councillor have any questions for the Community Development Program Leader, Miss Michelle Griffin? There being none, you and your team are free to go. Okay, councillors, we're now moving on to item 6.2, Sports and Community Infrastructure 2024 to 2025 Quarter Free Report, 1st of January to 31st of March 2025. This is a public report. We have the Sports and Community Infrastructure Manager, Mr. Ben O'Brien, presenting this report. You may present your report.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, councillors. The report before you is an update on the Sports and Community Infrastructure Program over the quarter three, which is the January to March period of this financial year. The team have prepared a PowerPoint presentation to run you through the highlights of the report, and then certainly happy to take any questions thereafter. So we've got the Beenleigh Aquatic Centre that's been progressing over this quarter. We've got some pictures of some pretty cool works there. We're finally out of the ground, which is very, very exciting. Concrete, the pool floor has been constructed. Building works are commencing. I think we're out on an inspection on this site with Councillor Murphy a few weeks ago. Coming up next is the concreting of the pool walls and structural works for buildings. In talking with the contractor, over the near term, they're hoping to complete the entry and administration building to open up to the public the car park flowing through that entry administration building into the indoor pool, which then helps them minimise their construction site for the remainder of the project. In quarter three, we've got the construction contract for the Flagstone District Community Centre was awarded, and as of now, works have commenced on site. There is Councillor Wilcox and the Mayor at the sod turning. And we are progressing from a planning perspective and now into the concept design phase, or preliminary concept design phase for the Logan Reserve Parkridge General Community Space. So in quarter three, the design contract was awarded. We've had some challenges out there with some illegal dumping. So we're in the coming period, we'll be commencing with installation of a fence to help prevent further illegal dumping. That'll be part of the ultimate works, and progressing with the preliminary concept design phase. Oh, there we go. Thank God that lit up. We have many sports fields lighting projects. Recently completed is the Cornubia Park sports field lighting project. Below you are the list of projects in regards to sports fields that are currently in design and hopefully will shortly be in construction. With this picture, I'd just like to draw your attention. We have a lot of sports fields in rural but also in urban areas, but great care is taken with the lighting design, and this picture here highlights hopefully the fairly good accuracy of controlling light spill around sports fields, which is what's being trying to achieve, so it lights up and doesn't disturb others. So I think that's quite a good picture for how we're trying to manage that interaction. You're all aware, and Emily Shafto's team have done a great job. The Queens Road redevelopment project has been completed, and I think it was launched publicly, and that's now in the defects liability period contractually. We've got the McKinnon Sports Park South Clubhouse. Tender drawings being completed. We're hoping to go to market for a request for quotation in the coming month or so, short period of time. And the Compton Park Clubhouse, with our partners from the federal and state government on this project. In the last quarter, we were out to market. We're about to award the design and construct contract, and we're hoping to have the facility in place by the end of this calendar year. And just a quick update on the Wilbur Street Youth Centre. You're all aware that it's been completed from a construction perspective, but we've recently received some operational statistics from Recon, who kindly shared this information with you. So I thought it was a good news story, bring it to committee just to highlight, hopefully, the operating success for Council's investment thus far. Very, very impressive with over 5,200 visits in the first 10 weeks. And to highlight, those visitations have come from kids from over 30 suburbs across Logan. 85% of attendees are aged 13 to 17, and 79% are from called backgrounds. You can see the stats up there. Thankfully, really pleasing to hear that there's a 75% weekly retention rate of the kids turning up. 85% learn new skills, and there's a strong demand for wanting more training and career support as well. So positive engagement to date, lots of hard work to continue, but it's kicked off really, really well. So thank you all for your input into that project. And happy to take any questions, Chair.
Do any councillors have any questions? Oh, throw up of hands. Who'd like to go first? All right, do we want to go around? Okay, we'll go. We'll go Councillor Jackson first. Go ahead.
Thank you. That Wilbur Street one, those stats are crazy good. Do we have anything else like that in the city? And am I right in thinking those stats are good?
Through the chair, that is our only dedicated youth centre. Yep. And yes, we are impressed with the uptake this early. There's a lot of people doing a lot of networking, a lot of promotion, but they are very good activation. Yes. So early, we were hoping for that level of activation, but we didn't think it would escalate or activate that quickly. We thought it might take some time to warm up. So.
Okay, Councillor Bradley.
My question was around the same thing, through the chair, thank you. The 30 suburbs, is it possible to get a list of those 30 suburbs?
Yep. Yes, happy to share that with you
Thank
offline,
you.
Councillor Bradley. Yep. And I'm happy to share that with other councillors as well if they wish.
Okay, and Councillor Lane, did you have your hand up? Yep.
So really love the Compton Park progress. I think that's going to be amazing, and the club is definitely looking forward to it. Thank you to your team for keeping me updated. Also on the Logan Roos project, the club did an amazing job of the internal changes to the clubhouse to update it, but I note that you're still working on the pod facilities to allow some more change rooms, sort of toilets and shower to come online. I really appreciate that. That's been an ongoing project, and I appreciate your patience. That Wilbur Street Youth Hub is absolutely magic, and kids tell their friends about it, and they're literally catching buses and trains to come down and be a part of it. They're bolting down after school. But probably the most important thing to remember is they're not funded. There's not a cent in funding coming from any state or federal government yet, and they're on the hunt for some. So those stats become even more amazing. But also parents are welcome into there to check it out for their kids, and parents are taking up that offer and rocking up of an afternoon to check out what's going on in the centre, and then are saying, yep, our kids, we're safe for them to come here. So a real credit to the team on the build and the consultation, and hopefully it continues to provide fruit for a long time to come.
Councillor Russell, did you have your hand up? No? No? Councillor? Nope, okay. Okay, and Councillor Hermine, did I see your hand up? No? Councillor Wilcox then?
Thank you. Just wondering if I can get an install date for the Greenbank Rec Reserve lights. I keep getting asked every time I'm there, so I'd love an install date. You don't have to tell me now, just tell me offline. That would be terrific. And if you can give me an update offline on the Flagstone Community Centre and how we're going there, that would be great. Just stick around if you want. I don't think we're going to be too much longer in here. Thanks.
You have a question, Councillor Murphy?
Thank you, through the chair. Hello, team. Congratulations on all the work. Congratulations to Councillor Lane. That Wilbur Street is absolutely humming place, and I know that one of my organisations goes up there and helped out as well. So great statistics. But I'd really like to say thank you for allowing me to go to the Beenleigh Aquatic Centre the other day. That was super exciting. And they have a wall halfway through the pool so we can divide it. It's a blow-up wall, which I've never, ever seen before. So that was really exciting. And I look forward to the administration building being open so we can open that section from the car park through instead of our residents going through a little path to get into the pool. So that's great. But we've got it all going on in Division 12, so it's a bit of a shout out. So we've got the pool, we've got loading projects at Hamill Park and the netball court, we've got resurfacing in the netball court, we've got a brand new clubhouse happening at Bedford Park. We've actually completed Chris Green, thank goodness for that. The Eagleby Aquatic Centre is completed, the Bishop Street Parkland lighting and the fields are all done. Noya Park lighting is done as well. So it's all happening in Division 12. Thank you very much. You can set up an office there anytime you like. Thank you.
Awesome. That list is almost as long as Division 6's. Awesome work. We have a PowerPoint we need to table. That has been moved by Councillor Bradley. Show of hands for the PowerPoint. That has been carried by everyone in the room. And we have a motion up on the board. Okay, can I have a mover for the motion? Councillor Lane, seconded by Councillor Murphy. Can I see a show of hands in the room? That's been carried by everyone in the room, and that has been carried. Do any councillors have any general business for the Sports and Community Infrastructure Manager? No, there being none. Mr. Ben O'Brien, you and your team are free to go. Oh, no. No, you didn't have anything? Okay. We do not have any late reports. Do you have any general business?
No, thank you, Chair.
Okay, all right. Okay, so without any late reports and without any general business, that concludes the agenda for today. Does anyone have any, I declare the City of Lifestyle meeting on Wednesday, 14th of, does anyone have any general business for Brad White? No, there being none. I've seen you've come to join us, Mr. Mayor. We'll have that noted that your attendance has come for the conclusion of this meeting. I declare the City Lifestyle meeting on the Wednesday, the 14th of May, concluded at 10:30. Thank you.